Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another English only lesson here at Study English with Us. You know, this channel really started out targeting Vietnamese speaking people because my wife is Vietnamese. But as we got going with this channel, we saw that a number of people from many different backgrounds and cultures and countries were interested in learning English here. And so we have decided to create a number of English-only lessons. And we want to welcome people from all over the world who are now joining Study English with Us, coming from other languages. Today we're going to continue our lessons on food. And in today's lesson, we're going to be talking about fruit. Before we get started in today's lesson, I want to mention something about closed captioning. In our last lesson, I was telling you how if you would like to see the English words appear at the bottom of the screen as I talk, there is a button underneath the video that has a little box with a CC on it, and if you click on that, you can turn closed captioning on to see the words. Well, since I recorded that lesson, I tried it on my phone, and it looks like on the phone it's a little bit different. So if you've been trying to figure out how to turn on closed captioning on your phone, just tap the video screen where the video is playing, and it'll kind of turn dark, and some menu options will show up. And the one you're looking for is way up in the top right-hand corner. And you'll see three dots, 1, 2, 3 dots in a vertical line. Click on that and you'll see menu options, and one of them will be to turn closed captioning on. And so if you're interested in having that as a feature as we go through our lesson, if it will help you to see the English words appear underneath the video or at the bottom of the screen, then try that and see how it works for you. All right, let's get started with fruit. And I'm going to start with some of the fruit that I grew up eating here in Canada. These are different types of fruit that actually grow here in Canada. Many of you might think of Canada as being nothing but frozen snow year-round, but actually we do have a nice hot summer every year, and there are many regions of Canada where we can actually grow fruit. And one of them is the apple. Apple. In English, we have a saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So if you include an apple in your diet once a day, then there's a good chance that you will keep healthy and not have to go see the doctor. The peach. Just looking at this photograph makes my mouth start to water because the peach is so sweet. In fact, I think the peach is one of my favorite fruits. Every year I look forward to the end of summer when the peaches come on and they're ready to eat. Peach. Peach. Now, an interesting thing about peaches, if you want to talk about the plural form of a peach, rather than just add an S, you need to add an ES. So if you want to have more than one peach and talk about peaches, remember to add an ES at the end of peach. Nectarine is very much like a peach, but a little bit more tart. The nectarine is a little bit more firm, a little bit more crunchy, as TK says. And she likes to have her peaches and pears and nectarines quite crunchy when she eats them. The nectarine. Nectarine. The apricot. This is a smaller fruit than the peach, and it is more tart, even more tart than the nectarine is, and yet it is very tasty. Plum is another fruit that grows here in Canada. The plum. And the pear. The pear. Now, I believe that this is more common in Southeast Asia, different varieties of the pear. And again, in Southeast Asia, they like to have these distributed to the market while they're still crunchy. Here in Canada, we like to tree ripen them more so that when we get them in the supermarket, they're quite soft and delicious. The grape. This is a fruit that grows around the world, but also one that grows here in Canada. We have some grapes right in our own garden, and maybe I'll show you a little bit of footage of us picking the grapes this last fall. The grape. The mango. Now we're getting away from Canada a little bit. We are not able to grow mangoes here in Canada. It just, I guess the tree just does not survive the cold winters. The trees of the apple and the pear and the peaches and plums, they are more hardy, I guess, and can survive the temperatures going down below zero. Whereas the mango tree, I guess, just can't do that, and so it does not survive the cold weather. Mango. Now, many of you, I'm sure, really enjoy eating the mango. It is the fruit that is very popular in Africa and Southeast Asia. Everybody loves the mango, in the Caribbean as well. I remember traveling to all of these places and everybody offering me mango, thinking that I would just be so happy to have this fruit. But I have to say that I'm not a big fan of the mango. And when I first started going out with TK, she was curious to know why I wouldn't like the mango. She loves the mango. And why doesn't Frank like the mango? Well, I think it has something to do with the fact that it looks a lot like a peach, especially when it's peeled. And so when I see the mango on the plate, my mouth starts to water and my mind starts thinking about that sweet, delicious peach. And then when I chew into the mango, I get this sour taste that makes me sad. And so I'm disillusioned as I eat the mango because it's not that peach that my mind was getting ready for. Mango. But I'll have to admit that every once in a while I do taste a pretty sweet mango, and then I'll have a lot. But I usually say no thanks to mango. Okay, the orange. Now, this is not a fruit that grows in Canada. Again, the tree just does not survive the winters. But as you get into the southern states, you'll see a lot of orange groves, just tree after tree, as you drive down the highway of oranges. And it is one of the major crops in the United States, the orange. And of course, the orange is from the citrus family. Now, the biologists might disagree with me when I say citrus family, but it's that grouping of fruit, the citrus fruit. Orange is a citrus fruit. But it's not the only citrus fruit. There are also grapefruits. The grapefruit. The grapefruit is bigger than the orange and is often more sour. Now, there are some trees, some varieties of grapefruit that if you let it ripen on the tree and you pick it and you cut it open and you eat it, it's still very sweet. Can be almost as sweet as the orange. But normally speaking, the way they pick them when they're green and then ship them out to the stores, by the time you get it home, they're pretty sour when you eat them. But all citrus is good for vitamin C, and so your body needs a lot of vitamin C to help your immune system fight off the bacteria and viruses that come into our body. And so it's good to not only have an apple a day, but also have some citrus fruit every day. And a grapefruit, even though it might be a little bit sour, is a good source of vitamin C. The pomelo. The pomelo. This is almost like a grapefruit when I have it. Usually, this is a fruit that I find when I travel to Vietnam and Thailand, the pomelo. When I have it, it's almost like eating a grapefruit. They're bigger usually than the grapefruit, but they have the same look and texture as you open it up and eat it. And I find the pomelo to be a little bit sweeter than the grapefruit the average grapefruit that is grown in the United States. The lemon. This is another great source of vitamin C. It's still in the citrus family, and it is known for its sourness. So people who like sour things might squeeze a little bit of lemon as they're cooking into their foods. They also use the lemon to make juice. They call it lemonade. Lemonade. And it is a nice, tasty, tart drink. People tend to add a lot of sugar to counteract the sourness of it, and so that makes it not such a healthy drink. But if you are able to have your lemonade with very little sugar, or maybe instead some organic honey, then it can be quite a nice healthy drink, either cold or hot. The lemon. The lime is very much like a lemon, but sweeter. You can just squeeze a lime into a glass of water and drink it without any sweetening at all, because it's already quite sweet. This is a type of orange that is found more in Southeast Asia, Europe, the tangerine. But it comes also in different names depending on what country you're getting your clementine from. So it's the tangerine, the mandarin, the clementine, I think it's called over in Europe. Mandarin, probably a Chinese name, of course, and the tangerine. So all of these different names refer to this type of orange that's smaller than the normal oranges that we get from the United States, but much easier to peel and very sweet, delicious. The tangerine. The kumquat. It's another type of citrus that is quite common in Southeast Asia. Calamansi, I believe, is very popular in the Philippines, the calamansi. The citron. This is kind of the parent of all citrus fruit. The biologists tell us that all of the citrus fruits that we have today that we've been looking at, the grapefruit and the oranges and the tangerines, all of these kind of stem back to the citron. Citron. Another type of citrus that's fun to look at and eat is the Buddha's hand. The way it's shaped kind of looks like some fingers, and it's called the Buddha's hand. The star fruit, quite popular in Southeast Asia. Star fruit. Passion fruit. Again, my mouth is starting to water. Whenever I'm traveling in countries where the passion fruit grows, I always order passion fruit juice at the restaurants because it is so delicious to drink and very nutritious as well. Passion fruit. Papaya. Papaya, a nice soft fruit, very tasty. Banana. One of the most popular fruits in the whole world, I believe. Every tropical country that I visit has bananas, and they're very good for getting the potassium that you need in your body. Banana. It's good to have one a day, just like the apple and the orange. Jackfruit. If you're from Southeast Asia, you probably know all about the jackfruit and the breadfruit. I see this in Africa a lot as well. Breadfruit. And the durian. The durian, I would say, requires an acquired taste and perhaps an acquired smell. It's got quite the odor. It often might even make you think of raw sewage when you smell it, especially if it's a little bit overripe or someone brings it onto a bus and leaves it there. It can be quite disgusting, the odor. But people find that as they eat it several times, become almost addicted to the taste of durian. And so it's quite popular, especially in Southeast Asia. The durian. Then there's the guava. Guava. This is a fruit that's called a plum. It's not really the same type of fruit that we call a plum here in Canada. But in Southeast Asia, they call this a plum or a rose apple, a wax apple. And it's a unique tasting fruit as well. The avocado. Not everybody considers the avocado to be a fruit because usually we see it just in spreads to make guacamole, for example, or we might find it in a vegetable salad. And so a lot of people just think it's another vegetable. But actually it is a fruit, and if you visit countries that have the avocado trees, you'll know for sure that it is a fruit that grows on a huge tree. Persimmon. Persimmon. TK has a story that she tells about persimmons. Once she was visiting some friends in California, and they had a persimmon tree in their backyard that was just full of fruit. And the host was trying to get TK to try one, and she didn't want to. She had tried it before and didn't really like the taste, but finally the lady got her to try a persimmon. And she liked it so much that she had some more and had some more. And before she left, a week later, she had eaten all of the persimmons on their tree. She had just cleaned them right out of persimmons. Mangosteens. When I'm visiting Cambodia and Thailand and Vietnam, I'm always delighted when I find myself arriving when the mangosteens are ripe and ready to eat, because they are so wonderfully delicious. Mangosteen. Rambutan. Rambutan. This is kind of a slippery little fruit that you can barely chew into before it slides down your throat. Longan. Longan. Lychee. Lychee. The dragon fruit. Dragon fruit. The currant. The currant. These are wonderful little berries that are tasty and come in different colors and sizes. The currant. Pomegranate. Pomegranate. Just filled with wonderful, tasty little seeds. The only problem is that the stones can sometimes get caught in your teeth. A little bit gritty, but the taste makes it all worthwhile. The pomegranate. Whenever I visit Israel or Jordan, I love to be there when the pomegranates are ready. Gooseberry. Gooseberry. It's a sour fruit, but I have fond memories of visiting my auntie's farm in Alberta, in Canada, in the summertime when the gooseberries are ripe. They had some cows there on the farm, and so she would make this cream that she would put over top of the gooseberries somehow, and they were just so wonderful, tasty. Strawberries. Strawberry. Strawberry. Now, these are berries that grow here in Canada, and we have some in our garden. We just love it when the strawberries are ready. Blueberry. Blueberry. This is a fruit that I believe is Joshua's favorite fruit, the blueberry. He just loves to have them in his lunch every day as he goes to school. Blueberry. Raspberry. Raspberry. Now you notice the way it's spelled here, you might want to say raspberry, but if you look at the international phonetics here, you'll see that it's pronounced usually more like raspberry, raspberry. The blackberry. We have some of these in our community garden, and we've planted some as well. We still haven't had a good year yet with the blackberries that we planted, but there are other people at our community garden that have managed to grow some very good blackberry bushes, and it's so wonderful after you've spent an hour in your garden to go talk to your neighbor and have a couple of their blackberries. They're just so tasty. Kiwi fruit. Kiwi fruit. This is a fruit that is kind of native to New Zealand and Australia, and especially in New Zealand, they call it the kiwi fruit. Outside of New Zealand and Australia, most people just shorten it to kiwi. Kiwi. And you have probably heard people from New Zealand being referred to as Kiwis, the people who live there as Kiwis. And a lot of times people think it's because of this fruit, when in reality it has more to do with a native bird that is found in New Zealand. In fact, I believe it's the national bird there. It's called the kiwi. It's a flightless bird. And that is the reason why people from New Zealand are called Kiwis, is because of their bird, not because of the fruit. But it's a wonderful fruit. If you've never tried one, I encourage you to go out and try the kiwi. Pick some up at your supermarket, cut it open, and get ready for a wonderful treat. The kiwi. Pineapple. Pineapple. A very favorite fruit in our house. We like to get it fresh rather than from the can. And so we'll look for good ripe pineapples in our supermarket, bring it home and cut it up ourselves. Coconut. Coconut. After a hot day out in the sun filming, I always appreciate it when the people that I am photographing and filming will take pity on me because they see that I'm sweating out in the hot sun. They'll send one of their children climb up one of the coconut trees, and they'll hack some down, and they'll cut it open for me, and I'll have some of that refreshing coconut juice. And it really helps to build up the electrolytes in my body that have been depleted because of the being out in the hot sun. Coconut. And after I've finished the juice, often they will take their machete and cut it open, and you'll be able to scoop out the actual meat, the coconut meat, and that's always very tasty as well. Cherry. Oh, my. This is a fruit that grows here in Canada, and we always love it when the cherries are on. This is a fruit that comes on sooner than the peaches and pears. So by about June, middle of June, the cherries are ready, and all of a sudden the price comes down at the supermarket because there's so many cherries available, and we always enjoy that type of year because the cherries are one of our favorite fruits, and we just can't seem to get enough of those. And some years we even will go out and pick our own. The fig. The fig. Watermelon. Watermelon. This is a new grouping of fruit called the melons, and late summer here in Canada, these are also available, and we cut them open and enjoy a wonderful, watery fruit. The cantaloupe, a little bit more pungent and sour than the watermelon, but still has a wonderful taste as well. As an alternative to a watermelon, you might say, tonight, let's have cantaloupe. Honeydew is another melon, but this is much sweeter than even the watermelon. I suppose that's why they call it the honeydew in English. Honeydew. Dates. This is a wonderful food that has its own packaging that lasts for months. So people, especially that live in desert areas, will have the palm trees, the type of palm trees that have the dates. And so they'll collect these dates and they'll store them in their tents, And as they're making journeys across the desert on the backs of their camels, they can reach into their bags and enjoy dates as a very nutritious snack. Kind of like candy, but with its own packaging. Olives. Olives. There's so much you can do with olives as you prepare different types of dishes, or you can crush the olive and have a very nutritious oil to use in your cooking and baking. The tomato. Now, this is a food that people debate about whether it's a vegetable or a fruit. Scientists will tell us that it's really a fruit. But because we use it so often with other vegetables, especially in salads, a vegetable salad, people tend to call it a vegetable or think of it as a vegetable. And so it can go either way. The nutritionist that you talk to might refer to it as a vegetable, but your scientist friend will say, no, it's a fruit. And so we've put it in the fruit category for our lesson. The tomato. Tomato. All right, well, that does it for this portion of our lesson where we actually talk about the fruits. And if you stick around after the break, we will come back and just do our vocabulary drills. And it may be that after you have watched this lesson once or twice, that you will want to just now skip to the vocabulary drills so that you can run through those 4 or 5 times, and that way be able to get these the names of these fruits into your long-term memory. So stick around. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back to our vocabulary drill section of this lesson. And I'd like to remind everybody that it's important to repeat after me. I'm going to leave a little gap after I say it once. Go ahead and say it yourself, and then I'll say it again so that you can listen and hear if you've said it correctly. And then I'll leave another gap so that you can repeat it one more time. Let's give it a try. Apple. Apple. Peach. Peach. Nectarine. Nectarine. Apricot. Apricot. Plum. Plum. Pear. Pear. Grape. Grape. Mango. Mango. Orange. Orange. Citrus. Citrus. Grapefruit. Grapefruit. Pomelo. Pomelo. Lemon. Lemon. Lime. Lime. Tangerine. Tangerine. Mandarin. Mandarin. Clementine. Clementine. Kumquat. Kumquat. Calamansi. Calamansi. Citron. Citron. Buddha's hand. Buddha's hand. Starfruit. Starfruit. Passion fruit. Passion fruit. Papaya. papaya, banana, banana, jackfruit, jackfruit, breadfruit, breadfruit, durian, durian, guava, guava, plum, plum, rose apple, rose apple, wax apple, wax apple, avocado, avocado, persimmon, persimmon, mangosteen, mangosteen, rambutan, rambutan, longan, longan, lychee, lychee, dragon fruit, dragon fruit, currant, currant, pomegranate, pomegranate, gooseberry, gooseberry, strawberry, strawberry, blueberry, blueberry, raspberry, raspberry, blackberry, blackberry, kiwi fruit, kiwi fruit, kiwi, kiwi, pineapple, pineapple, coconut, coconut, cherry, cherry, fig, fig, watermelon, watermelon, cantaloupe, cantaloupe, honeydew, honeydew, date, date, olive, olive, tomato, tomato. All right, well, that wraps it up for this lesson on fruits. We hope that you have enjoyed it and learned many things about fruit, as well as the terms, the English words for the fruit. If you've enjoyed this lesson, we hope that you will like and share the lesson. And if you have not already done so, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We have many new English-only lessons planned for the coming year, and we want to make sure that you'll be notified for each new lesson that comes out. And so I want to encourage you to continue to learn English with us. Make sure that you come back many times. And so I want to encourage you. And so thank you for joining us today. It's been my pleasure to be your teacher today, and we hope that you will come back often and go through these drills many times so that they get into your long-term memory. And we look forward to seeing you on our next lesson on food. I believe our next lesson is going to be on meats, the different types of meats. So look forward to seeing you then. So long for now.